And we're back. That's right.
Welcome back to Quiet in the Back.
In the back.
I'm your host, Patrick William.
And I am also a host of this podcast, Austin Jenny.
Today is September 1st.
That's right.
And it marks the beginning of Sci-Fi September.
Yes, my favorite genre of movie, finally.
As is mine, I believe.
Yes.
I think what we really connected on first as friends was like dystopian sci-fis.
Yeah, I remember just working the sushi line with you and just like geeking the fuck out about it.
I like world-ending shit.
Yes.
I like the cautionary tales, the dark technology.
Yes,
all
absolutely. Black Mirror-esque sort of situations, of course.
So we're doing sci-fi all September.
Yes, and we are starting Sci-Fi September with a banger of a movie.
Annihilation.
That's right. Written and directed by Alex Garland, a adaptation from the book by
Jeff Vandermeer.
That's exactly right. The first in the Southern Reach trilogy.
I'm going to get around to reading those books because these stories are awesome.
So wildly unique and creative.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Honestly.
Before we get into Annihilation, let's run through what else we have in store for the month. Get people hyped because we've got some bangers.
Yes, we do.
Next week, we're going to do Terminator 2.
That's right.
Judgment Day.
I've never seen it. Which I really, it's crazy, I know. But I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a really fun watch.
Then we're doing Matrix.
Yeah. Oh, man. Everyone's classic favorite.
It's such a classic.
It's great. Starship Troopers.
Yep. Starship Troopers.
Dude, we're going to kill some bugs. We're going to stomp on them.
I did my part.
I did my part. Click here to see more.
Can I vote now? If I kill enough innocent people, can I vote? What's our fifth one?
That is a good question. Fuck.
What is our fifth movie?
I forgot already.
Yeah, because you actually skipped the fourth one and went right to Starship Troopers.
Oh, what's the fourth one?
But the fourth movie in Sci-Fi September is Fifth Element.
Oh, yeah, well, that's why I couldn't remember, because fourth and fifth.
What's in the fourth slot?
How many numbers are there?
Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Chris Tucker.
Milo Jojovic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little cutie.
Yeah. Lilu Multipass. Yeah.
Multipass.
I have a literal multipass, dude. I got one.
Yeah, that movie is awesome.
Dude.
And it's very different than Matrix or Terminator 2 or Annihilation.
Yeah.
And so is Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
We put our two sci-fi comedies sort of on the back end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'll be fun. Get these nice brain blasters out of the way. Relax a little bit towards the end of the month.
Yeah. So that's what we got in store for you. Sci-Fi September coming in hot.
Yes, hot and nasty. It's going to be good.
Full of robots and biochemistry.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We just watched Annihilation.
Yes, we did.
What a fucking cool movie.
Man, I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was truly blown away. Like, I wanted to watch it again immediately. I was so taken aback by how unique it was.
How many times have you seen it?
It's probably like 6 or 7 for me now.
Okay, super fan here.
Yeah. I've seen it. I saw it twice in theaters.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, like I said, I was like, holy shit, this might be my favorite movie. But it's up there for sure. It's definitely one of my top 10 sci-fis. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I think it's probably in my top 10 too. I've only seen it twice. So I'm still digesting it in ways that you're not, but it's so good. I'm not going to sit here and try to think of all the fucking sci-fi movies I like, but it's got to be topping most of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it's in this month for a reason. I think it stands up there with Terminator, with Matrix, like shit like that. It's
absolutely
2001 Space Odyssey.
For sure.
I mean, bangers.
Just absolutely fantastic. And it's coming from Alex Garland, who is
So he did Ex Machina as well.
Which is also,
sci-fi.
In my opinion, if not the number one sci-fi for me, in my top 5 for sure.
We could do that next September.
We already kind of touched on it once.
We touched
on it.
We did a mini episode back in the Nicolas Cage era.
Yeah, but we'll give it a whole episode. It deserves it.
That and Children of Men both deserve their own full episodes.
I fully agree, and it'd be really fun to rewatch them.
Yeah. Alex Garland, he did Ex Machina. He also did Civil War. And another one that I saw listed that I haven't seen is a movie called Men.
Oh, that was a weird one.
That's like one of his most known movies, according to the internet.
What? Really?
Yeah. If you look up Alex Garland, it's like this, Ex Machina, Men, Civil War is like fourth.
That's crazy. So I have seen Men. I saw Men in the Roxy Theater in Missoula.
Okay.
Small viewing. It was really uncomfortable. I didn't like it.
Okay.
And I think it deserves another viewing though, because it is this director, and maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace to watch it. But it was weird, and I didn't really like it.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
An artistic experience is equal parts the art and the experiencer.
Yeah.
If you're in a weird place, or you're just like feeling like, I don't know, the content of the movie was like too close to home or too far from home.
Yeah.
It can just not work.
Yeah, it sadly just didn't.
So,
but you should get into it sometime.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
This movie's starring Natalie Portman.
Hell yeah, it is.
No hints of Zionism. She does a really good job in this film.
It's fantastic. Her range in this movie is great, from being that cold, kind of sad and repressed Natalie that we've seen, to like fully emotional, like
open weeping.
Yeah.
Being in love, showing the full range of human emotion very well.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect. She did a perfect job, in my opinion.
Yeah. All the actors are pretty good, but she's obviously the star.
Yeah.
And I do think she has the best. She does the best performance too.
Yeah, I agree. Dr. Ventress does a pretty good job in it. Her name's Jennifer Lee.
And then Tessa Thompson is also in this.
Yep. Is she the biologist?
She is. Oh, I forget what science. No, Natalie's the biologist.
Yeah.
She's like the comms girl who like understands about refraction.
Yeah.
Because of like the radio waves.
Yeah, for sure.
You know her from Westworld and many other things, but she's kind
of from the movie with the horses.
Equisapiens, mount up. Yeah, she was in Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, killed that role too.
Yeah,
she's fantastic. As well as Oscar Isaac, who plays Cain.
The husband.
Yeah, the husband, and a whole lot of other shit. He is also Nathan in Ex Machina, so seems to be one of Alex Garland's
go-to guy.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to try our best to blast through the plot a lot faster than in previous episodes. Moving forward, it's kind of a goal we want to hit. So we're going to give you like 5 minutes or less, just overview of the plot, so that we can talk about the key ideas, scenes, favorite stuff.
Yeah.
So what happens in this movie, broad strokes? There is a collision with Earth by some foreign object. It's like one of the first things you see.
Yeah.
It hits a lighthouse. It's like an extraterrestrial object, and it begins to create a very large sort of like shimmer.
Yeah.
Is the best word they use to describe it. It's like a zone.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a dome, essentially. It's a giant dome that is ever spreading, and it is translucent, kind of, slightly opaque and shimmery, and that's why they call it the shimmer. You can go through it, though.
It's refracting light, but it's also refracting everything.
Yes.
That's what they learn by the end of the movie.
Yes, light.
It's refracting genetic code.
Time itself.
Yeah.
Everything.
So it's some sort of refractionary power source of some sort. It's very mysterious, but the government keeps sending in teams of soldiers and scientists, and no one comes back. Our main character is a scientist.
Yeah.
Her husband is also a soldier. And at the beginning of the movie, she is like pining the fact that he has been gone for over a year, and she believes him to be dead. And then he just shows up
at her door. Yeah.
That is a very shocking moment in the movie.
It really is. And just his behavior is the utmost unsettling.
Yeah. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how long he's been gone. And then he like coughs up blood.
Yeah.
And they rush him to the hospital, but get intercepted immediately by like federal agents, like SWAT team. And they get transferred to like a high security, like black site of some sort.
Yeah.
And they inject her with like a sedative. She wakes up in this facility and she's being interrogated.
By Dr. Ventress, right?
Yeah, Dr. Ventress, who's like the lead woman on this expedition they go on.
Mm-hmm. Psychologist.
Yeah. So the long story short is our main protagonist, Lena, is a biologist. Dr. Ventress is a psychologist and some sort of military, like, secret commander of some sort. She's in charge of this whole operation. And then a team of those two plus 3 other women scientists all go into the Shimmer and experience weird shit as they try to get to the core of the Shimmer and, like, figure out how to stop it.
Yeah, and the further they progress to the core, the more weird shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's truly, like, the blending and refracting and evolving of every single possible thing you could imagine. I mean, the plants are growing together and different, like, in different ways.
All species of plants are, like, sharing the same plant body structure, but, like, all the flowers are coming out from different species. And she's looking at it. She's like, well, you would think these are all different species, but I know they can't be. They're literally the same plant.
Yeah. Yeah, that, and then, like, you're seeing, like, an alligator with shark teeth, like, fucking all sorts of crazy stuff. Animals and plants are kind of blending together. There's human plant structures.
Plants are growing in the body shape of humans because they've got, like, the human shaping genetic code.
Yeah.
Everything is being, like, cross-pollinated and mutated.
Yes, and it goes much farther than you ever realize while you're experiencing this. All this starts to unfold and the layers of information get peeled back. Yeah. It is a wild time.
Yeah, so that's the basic plot, without necessarily revealing the final twist or anything, but that's the plot. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the themes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's really, like, in my head, 2 core themes.
Okay.
One being self-destruction.
Yeah.
Not necessarily of the individual human, but of the species of humanity. And that ties down into the individual human, for sure. A lot of them do self-destruct. Most of our main characters do. But as a general species, I think that that's kind of what it's getting at. And then growth, I would say. I like growth, evolution, duplication.
And I want to note that I think one of the big takeaways from this movie, we can get into our conclusions, I guess, after we go through all the themes, but growth and self-destruction are the same process. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big takeaway. It's like a phoenix thing where you destroy to create. Yeah. You see that a lot. And you see the distinction between self-destruction and suicide, because suicide kills you, but self-destruction doesn't necessarily kill you. It's
forced growth.
Destroys something that's in your way, right? And it changes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a few other sub-things: identity and duality, duplication overall. Yeah. There's a lot of weird duplicating of things in this movie.
I think they really explore the concept of life and death. Yeah. Not as like a human conceptual thing, but as a biological phenomenon. Absolutely. As a way of exploring whether or not our human conceptual stuff is, like, accurate or not. Mm-hmm. The concept of, like, death as a process of change rather than annihilation. Yeah. Which is, like, the absolute removal of something. Mm-hmm. I think, like, juxtaposing death and annihilation is, like, really important to understand what the writer thinks that death is. Yeah. Versus what it's not, which is not annihilation. Yeah. Which is a different thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's an entirely different thing. So when you're dying, you're still fully there. You're just changing still, you know? Yeah. Creating new life.
But yeah, that's exactly what I had. And then I also just wrote to the side of my themes list, all female science team. Yeah. I don't know that that's a theme, but it is a noteworthy element to the story that is worth exploring more.
Absolutely. I mean, they also are the only ones who are successful. You know?
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I guess, they're also, I think, the only full non-military.
Yeah. They're a full team of scientists. And they're all women. All the soldiers in the past were men. So I don't know if there's, like, gender role stuff being explored by the writer, if there's any hard statements being made there
Yeah.
about the like female capacity for like creative thinking and learning versus like the male, like the traditional sort of male tendency to like destroy and fight.
Yeah.
Right. To like
Yeah.
come into conflict with rather than to like understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think there's some stuff there that's worth exploring. I don't know that it's like a full ass theme
Yeah.
per se, but
Yeah. I think that it's definitely just like a nice exploration of that, but
yeah,
I don't think that they were trying to say too much by it.
yeah. But it's noteworthy for sure.
For sure. Also, the like just almost like the H.P. Lovecraft sort of situation of the unknowable and incomprehensible nature of alien life.
Yeah,
You know.
I also wrote nature of reality.
Yeah, that as well.
It's the same concept, like the fact that we have this very provincial ability to perceive and comprehend that's based on like our biological architecture and our cultural background and all that.
Yeah.
And then like life itself being so much vaster than that
Of course.
to the point that it's actually like unknowably different.
Yeah, absolutely. In my opinion, I mean, it's much more likely that it's going to be so unknowably different that it's going to be hard for us as humans to relate to any other alien species.
I like sci-fi, that Lovecraftian stuff when it
Good.
probes the boundary of the knowable and makes you think big, ask yourself big questions and like.
Yeah, that really gets into our little debate that I think we're going to have later about whether or not this is an alien or not.
Right. Yeah.
I guess, well, I don't know. I don't know what you think still. I don't know.
Well, yeah, let's go through some of these themes and then we'll ask each other that question at the end.
Okay.
Because I think it's really hard to answer that. And I don't personally think that the movie gives you enough concrete information to answer it. It's going to be more interpretive.
That's fair.
But yeah, we'll get to that. Let's start with, I guess, self-destruction.
Yeah.
It's one of the most like clear themes because they talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And there's like direct lines of dialogue. There's a scene where Lena and one of the other scientists is like canoeing, and they're talking about one of the other scientists who had a drug addiction in the past, and she has like track marks on her arm, and that's why she wears long sleeves. And they're saying she doesn't want you to know about that. And Lena asks of the drug addiction, she says, "Oh, it's like she was trying to kill herself." And the scientist's response was, "No, it's quite the opposite. I think she was trying to feel alive."
Yeah.
And this idea that like, there's like a lot of tension in this story between life and death and how organisms behave in regards to like their self-preservation versus their desire to like to feel something else or like do something greater or different. This idea that you would possibly kill yourself to feel alive is very right. There's contradiction there.
It's quite a bit. Yes.
And I think the fact that they say that so distinct, like explicitly, like, no, she wasn't trying to kill herself by doing this like extremely dangerous behavior. She was actually trying to feel alive.
Yeah.
That's like one of the first moments in the movie that I picked up on that ties directly into this idea that like self-destruction is not necessarily a bad thing, or like it's sort of like an inevitable part of change and growth.
And just the human condition, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree with them as well. You know, I certainly think that self-destruction can be an extremely useful tool to make yourself change. I don't know if I would agree with the fact of using drugs to do it.
Right.
But
you know, I think that it's just it's an example,
of course,
a literary example that they can use to talk about the topic. But there's another thing that Lena and Kane are talking about at the beginning of the movie before he goes on his mission. she's talking about aging, and she says that left to its own devices, a cell would be immortal because they can just divide forever, and that our bodies actually introduce some sort of like chemical or something. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
Our bodies introduce an element that causes our cells to fail, and that's basically what aging is.
Yeah.
And she describes aging as a mistake, or like aging as an accident or a mistake that our bodies are making to kill us. You know, and you could look at it at like a macro level, probably like species wide. It's a net benefit that we age out.
Absolutely.
Because each generation like supersedes the next, right? If everybody could just live forever, we'd probably stop having babies, but we would also stop growing as a culture. We would just
creating.
We would stagnate, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like the inevitability of death and the culling of the old and the making way for the new is like this healthy process of evolution.
Yeah, and therefore a healthy process of self-destruction.
But she claims that it's a mistake, and his response to her is God doesn't make mistakes. That's part of the whole thing about being a god. You don't make mistakes. And so there's this idea presented early in the movie that there's like tension between survival of an organism and the sort of like inevitability of God's plan, quote unquote. If God wants us all to die eventually,
we are going to die.
that's the plan.
Yeah.
And it's not a mistake. Then by actively like working against our own deaths, which is what all organisms do every day, we are to some degree like working against God's plan, right? There's this weird thing, there's this like weird conclusion that comes out if you accept both premises, that there's a plan that you're supposed to die, but that you want to live. Like, what does that say about your judgment of the plan?
That's a good question.
Right. The fact that we fight against, like, what is that epic poem, like rage against the dying of the light.
I know what you're talking
Don't
about.
go into that great dark night or whatever it is. That's the human spirit. We want to survive. We want to live.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also like written into your genes and into like the very code of your being to fight for your life always.
Yet your body is perpetually killing itself. If you scale out the timeline, right? Look at us over a 100-year period. Yeah. Your body itself is like trying to die. Yeah. Over time.
Yeah. I mean, that's, as he said, all God's plan. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard for me not to think about that so literally,
Yeah. So that's the literal, like, that's where I wanted to start, is the literal biological macro species level, where like you look at population charts, et cetera. It's like, okay, we all die, generations succeed. Yeah. But then like the more symbolic, metaphoric thing is like personal growth within your life. Because that's, I think, what's really being gotten at in this movie. They're using life and death as like a conversation piece. I don't think it's really meant to be that metaphysical. Yeah. But like the idea that you have an identity that's like locked into certain parameters. And if you want to change that identity, those parameters, or like your identity itself, has to go away, or like fundamentally transform in a way that would be like, it would be describable as death.
Yeah, death, destruction, absolutely.
If you've ever heard the phrase ego death, people go through this when they have religious or drug-induced personal like revelatory experiences where you sort of like shed the baggage of your previous life, all the expectations and assumptions that you've been carrying with you. You go do like a heavy LSD trip or ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah.
And you come out the other side. And I've experienced that personally, and I've spoken to many people that have done that, and we all agree that like you feel like you're living a new life. It's a new person that has come out of that.
A fundamental change.
Yeah,
to say the least. I mean, and that can be for the negative too.
It certainly can be.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I would say that the first time I experienced that, it was for a negative.
Sure.
I was way too young. I was like 16 years old.
Not
at the time.
Yeah, whether or not you evaluate it positive or negative, I think the writer's trying to get at this process of change and conceptualize like change as death of identity.
Yeah.
You can't like move forward without like killing off the old stuff. It's a cool metaphor.
It's very cool. It's really interesting, and it's just yeah. I mean, in my personal life, it is very apparent that has needed to happen a couple times, and it's really interesting watching that be brought to a screen and then conveyed to me.
Yeah,
I've never really like experienced a movie so clearly tell me like this is how you have to change. You know, you have to change to grow. Like,
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it will suck.
And we see our I guess Kane doesn't get a lot of screen time.
Not
but
much.
I would consider him a main character.
Yeah.
He's kind of like if there is one, I guess like the antagonist of the movie.
Yeah, to an extent.
I think he's the antagonist of the story that the movie is setting up and then doesn't tell.
Yeah.
But Kane, the husband who goes in first and comes back fucked up, he gets to the center of the shimmer, to the lighthouse, and like confronts the core. And this core is like just a shining light orb thing.
Yeah.
That's at least how it's represented to us at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it like basically becomes a doppelganger of Kane.
Yeah.
And then Kane kills himself. He commits suicide with a phosphorus grenade. And the doppelganger goes out of the shimmer into the world and tries to like be him.
Yeah. And like that's who we see at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Alternatively, when Lena goes and confronts her doppelganger, because she goes through the same process, she takes a second phosphorus grenade and she gives it to the doppelganger and pulls the pin out and runs away and kills the doppelganger. And I think that represents like two different ways of relating or like approaching this topic of like self-destruction and the acceptance of the loss of yourself.
Yeah.
He understands that he has fundamentally changed.
Yeah.
And so he lets go of his old self and lets his new self like go out into the world. She is not comfortable with that change that she's seeing. It's freaking her out. She fights against it and kills it. She tries to kill it. And she tries to like preserve her original self.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking so crazy, man.
The truth is that by the end of the movie, though, she is fundamentally changed no matter what she tries to do.
Absolutely. And you see that in the glow of her eyes when she
Yeah.
asked the question.
And the tattoo.
The Ouroboros tattoo.
She doesn't have a tattoo at the beginning of the movie and then gets a bruise on her arm and it develops. And by the end of the movie, in the interview, like the debriefing,
Yeah.
she has this Ouroboros tattoo.
Yeah.
Which I have an Ouroboros tattoo. We can get into the meaning of that if you'd like. It's definitely connected to this movie concept.
Yeah. I mean,
but,
it's like the exact movie.
yeah. But like her eyes shimmer too. Like the camera gives you a close up and her eyes are shimmering just like the light radiation of the shimmer.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that she has tried to preserve her original self, she's still changed. So I don't know that like it's basically if there's a takeaway, I guess, from that, you can't prevent your own change. You can only either accept it or not accept it.
Yeah, but it's going to happen. It's whether or not you decide to live with it and grow from it or grow against it.
So Cain accepted his transformation, and Lena is in denial.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in the second and third books, they explore that more. This movie ends with that.
Yeah.
And just sort of leaves it as an open-ended question.
Mm-hmm.
But it sort of represents the two different ways to approach having yourself fundamentally changed. Like, what kind of phoenix is going to come out of the ashes?
Yeah.
One that knows it's a phoenix, or one that still thinks it's like a turkey or whatever went into the ashes.
Yeah. It's really cool to see that portrayed through the metaphor of life and death and change.
Right.
Yeah. It's really wild how pretty much every character in this film is their own personal antagonist too, to an extent.
Yeah, there's a lot of internal psychological struggles.
Yeah, facing your internal trauma and such. I would say facing the self in the lighthouse is also like facing your internal self, your internal trauma.
Yeah,
the past.
It feels very symbolic. It's a very symbolic, like, heavy scene that is pretty clearly like her fighting her own death.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like the doppelganger is her death. It's literally at one point like suffocating her against the wall, and she's resisting and pushing away, and like, you know, she's just an organ. She's just a cell trying to survive.
Yeah. Fucking cool.
One of the other interesting themes in this movie is exploring, like, I think the differences between a human conception of life and death versus a biological conception of life and death. Like, the difference between the construct that we have in our minds and then the sort of biological underpinnings, the reality of what's happening when something dies.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all through our own conscious perspective of, like, because we view it as a fundamental end. Obviously, because our viewing experience fundamentally ends. But it's so necessary for everything.
Well, and we have these, our brain is, like, really only capable of seeing things in terms of, like, discrete objects. This is overly nerdy, I guess, but, like, when I was in school, one of the subjects in metaphysics that I really enjoyed learning because it elucidated this way of seeing things is called ontology. Ontology is like the study of what exists. And an object-oriented ontology is like the one that we have, basically, that humans use, where you look at a tree and you see a tree. Then you can break that down into, like, smaller, you can see bark versus, like, the core. You can see leaves, branches, roots. We can distinguish, like, parts of a whole. But we have, like, objects that we're seeing. That's obviously not what's there if you were really, really, really small.
Yeah, I mean, that changes the entire thing.
So if you have less of, like, an object-oriented ontology and you have more of, like, I can't think of what a different ontology would be like because I'm
like
a human.
Like a force-related ontology.
Right, like if you view things as, like, magnetism and gravity instead of...
It's almost like what a four-dimensional creature would view things as. It's like you are experiencing time in an entirely different way, and space and gravity, like you said, forces.
Right, so you could maybe have a force-oriented ontology, but you could also, even within an object-oriented ontology, you could think of the objects as different. So I might see a tree as the core entity, whereas you could look at it and see a forest as the core entity, and a tree is a smaller part of a forest. You could look at a planet as the core entity, and everything's a smaller part of that. Depending on what you perceive to be, like, the anchor level of your ontology changes, like, the value system around that particular like object formation.
That's so interesting. And it probably really changes per person too, depending on what your specialty is. Like I'm sure people who are consistently thinking about, astronomy like all of the time, that is their job, they're studying the stars, they probably view and think about these material objects that are directly around us with far less importance, significance.
Yeah. They probably view phosphorus as very important.
Do you want to get into your phosphorus?
Dude, the phosphorus grenade is such a critical symbolic component to that scene.
All right, hit me with it. Break it down.
I looked up phosphorus because it seemed very, what's the word? Suspicious.
Sussy.
It was like, it's too specific. Like, why did he kill himself with a phosphorus grenade and not some other grenade? Mm-hmm. Why did they make mention of what type of grenade it was at all?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, phosphorus has to be like a symbol. So I look it up. I find a bunch of Reddit threads, people discussing it. I find some scientific information on phosphorus. It only is created in supernova explosions, like many heavy elements, I think. But it's impossible to find it freestanding on Earth. It can only be found like bound to other things. And it is the like main building block or like transport mechanism for DNA to transfer information through like phosphates. So it's directly connected to the idea of creation and the idea of mutation in human life. So that's just cool. But then I also found the word phosphorus comes from Greek. The Greek translation means light bringer or light bearer. Mm-hmm. And phosphorus, it's because phosphorus glows. Yeah. Like glows white. And in Latin, the Greek translates to Lucifer, which would later, with Christian theology, be tied to Satan. Mm-hmm. And Lucifer is like the light bringer. And I know this, that in Christian theology, Satan is an angel first, and he's only cast down by God for questioning God. Yeah. Because Satan is like a scientific thinker. He needs like evidence. Yeah. And God doesn't support evidence. God demands belief, faith. Yeah. Faith is the opposite of evidence-based thinking. And so Satan is like cast away for basically being like a scientific thinker. Yeah. So I just found the phosphorus connection to Satan, to Lucifer, as very interesting. Again, with this concept of like going against God's plan. An organism like fighting against its own death is somehow like sacrilegious, or like it's like an error. Yeah. It's a one of God's mistakes. Do you think weird? That is so fucking crazy. That is so cool. I cannot remember for the life of me if that was in the book or if that's just Alex being a really good writer. Right. Really understanding symbolism. Yeah. But do you think then the alien force, or whatever we're going to call it, is representative of Lucifer in himself being shot down from heaven? Very interesting take. Yeah. I didn't think about that. I didn't analyze it that far. Yeah, because you see it fall to Earth from outer space. Mm-hmm. And then it lands and it starts transforming everything. Yeah. Yeah. It certainly could be. Right. It holds water. I didn't explore that at all either. Just popped in my head. I was like, huh. God casts down the disbeliever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it starts transforming everybody. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I have no idea, but that might be worth. Tell us what you think in the comments. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to explore a little bit more about this concept of death and like the human construct of death via the visual symbol that they give us. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It's not very big, but it's a human body in that pool. In the tub? It's like a big swimming pool that's emptied out. Yeah. Oh, and the human body is like embedded in the wall and is half like still the shape of a body, but it's also sort of forming into like fungal colonies, like mold colonies.
Yeah, it's very Last of Us-esque in a sense.
It's like becoming a spore colony.
Yeah, but more like, like spores and also kind of like lichens and such, like growing on the concrete like it does. Oh, such a cool scene, by the way.
Yeah, dude, I need to shout out the set design and art design for this movie is phenomenal.
Dude, 10 out of 10 on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
The art choices and like the aesthetics of everything is just so good. Whatever team they had like building those sets out is a rock star team.
For sure. Yeah.
That visual symbol of a man becoming a fungal colony. Really, to me, is like one of the best metaphorical ways of understanding what I think the author is trying to say about how death works.
Yeah.
It's like a blurring of boundary, right? Because we have this object-oriented ontology where I look at you, I see a man.
Yes. It ends at my skin.
Yeah, you have a physical boundary. You also have this like conceptual boundary. Or I guess I'm the one with the conceptual boundary of you.
Yeah.
Where like if you didn't fit the schema of what I consider to be a human man, right, I wouldn't be able to look at you as one.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had like 4 arms, maybe that's not enough. I'd just still call you a man with 4 arms.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe if you had like no head, no legs, and were like spherical, and just a face on a sphere or something like. How close to a man is that?
Yeah, that's not that close, but you could still maybe represent it. But
what if you, sitting here, slowly turned into that, like in front of my eyes?
Yeah.
And were still able to hold a conversation with me? What would my brain do to try to like compartmentalize what I think that you are?
Yeah.
The boundary between a man, a human being, and a fungal colony or whatever seems like very clear to me if you ask me to identify them both separately. But when you put them together on a wall and it blends from one to the other, it asks this question of like, where does the man stop and where does the fungus begin?
Yeah.
And this process of death kind of like allows one thing to become another.
Absolutely.
When you see like a fallen tree that's decomposing from within and being eaten by termites and it's growing mushrooms and the mushrooms are eating the bark and creating
this perfect
nutrients,
cycle. The thing on your arm.
Yeah, it's the Ouroboros.
Yeah.
This is like what that's all about. The fact that nature can just eat itself and fuel itself and become a new thing, but that's only if you look at it as like these discrete objects.
Yeah.
The tree, then the mulch, then the soil, then the mushroom.
Yeah.
But if you think of nature as the entity itself, like the system is the unit.
Yeah, it's all blended together. It's just one circular.
Then nothing is dying. It's just changing.
It's just growing.
It's a fertilization process, and it's eating its own tail. It's a very different way of looking at life.
Absolutely. I feel like people that probably study the process of death and decomposition are much more in tune with that than the average person as well. I know that I don't view it that way because I'm just, a very, as you said, object-oriented person. That is...
Well, all humans are.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Of course.
To do this sort of like philosophical and conceptual work, it's abstract. It takes you out of your way of thinking and sort of brings it into like a spiritual realm. But it's not how we actually like see things. When you look out into this room, I see 3 cameras and 2 lights.
Yeah.
I don't see like a amorphous like field of electrons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
photons
see objects
hitting the back of my fucking the eyes and then reflecting backwards.
I just know that deep down another way of conceptualizing what's in front of me is an amorphous field of electrons, of magnetism, of different polarities of energy moving. I know that there's more empty space between the cells of that tripod than there is physical stuff.
Yeah.
And if I could just hit it at the right angle, my hand would pass right through
Right
it.
through it.
You know,
Yeah.
like I know that's true, like fundamentally.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it's not how I experience the world. So that tension, that like mental discomfort that creates, to me is like the source of spirituality.
Yeah.
It's like what drives mystical thinking.
Yeah. No, I completely and totally agree. I think that's a great jumping off point as well to get into our talk about the quote unquote alien life.
Yeah, the entity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. You start.
You start. Okay. Well, so I do fully think that this is a living thing.
Okay.
I will start there. I don't think that it is a conscious being per se. I don't think it has any motive or intention. I think it exists and it changes.
Would you describe that just to make like a parallel metaphor, like a plant seed or something? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Any sort of plant.
like it's encoded with in its genetics with the programmed behavior that it's gonna grow into doing, but it's not like thinking about it or like.
Yes. So yeah, I wrote that it acts without intention or malice. It just reflects, distorts, duplicates, and evolves without morality.
So that's the life itself.
Yeah.
That's what I think of life as.
Yeah. And so you're saying that. So do you consider it a life force then?
Well, it's just it becomes, I guess, an ontological question. Is life itself an entity, right? Or is it a process?
I think wow. I think it's an entity. I think it is both, and I think that us having a conscious mind that can make decisions and perceptions about that process and that entity puts us just on a different field of perspective. We can analyze, change that process around us. So I think that we are different from that, but I would still consider life an entity in itself.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider a plant to be an entity, like a discrete object of life. I think you and I are entities.
Mm-hmm.
I think pretty much anything that you could point to as an animal or a plant or a rock. Well, maybe it's not right to call a rock an entity.
Yeah, I wouldn't call
I think
it a
an
rock.
entity has to be able to like do something.
I think that its cells need to be able to duplicate. I think it needs cells.
Are all entities alive?
I think so.
Do they have to be alive? They have to have cells?
I would say so, personally. I mean, but I'm also a pretty literal person, because that's also a very, that question could be, asked in a religious way as well.
Right.
That's very different.
Well, and I think it's worth noting that at the beginning, when they're in Area X, Ventress says to Lena, we don't know what this is, scientific, religious event, whatever. They set up the option of you looking at this through the lens of it being a religious event as well as a scientific one, which I think a lot of good sci-fi does.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I don't think that life itself is an entity. I think life is a process, and things that are alive are entities.
Yeah. I guess that's what I meant. Because, I don't think that the entire process of life itself. I meant the individual
so the
living
individuals.
Things. Yes.
And my question, I guess, is not a question of you, but a question of the story is that thing that hit the lighthouse a living entity, or is it just a like physical object that causes refraction?
Is it even a physical object? But yeah.
Well, we see it and it hits. I guess that could be also metaphorical, but that would be getting a little heady.
Yeah.
I want to assume that it is a physical object that hit the Earth from space. It's like a deep space object. Then you also have to ask the question, well, why Earth? Either it's random, and then that's just like an astronomical statistics thing, or it's because Earth has life, and this thing
It's probably attracted to life.
came because of the life.
Yeah, the book also does change things for this question for sure, quite a bit. Yeah. I don't know if I want to say any of it because I want you to read the book.
Yeah, maybe let's keep it movie only for this discussion.
I think so.
But it's an interesting problem because you could have just a process occurring wherein light, radio waves, matter, genetics are all being scrambled and refracted.
Yeah.
And this refractory process is what's creating the doppelgangers, which I believe that they are entities.
Yeah.
And the doppelgangers are what our main characters have their various conflicts with. But as to whether there's actually like some additional entity above and beyond the doppelgangers that was itself like navigating through space, like found Earth, like hit Earth, and then is like doing this, I don't necessarily think that there's a reason to believe that that's the case.
I guess, yeah. I guess I couldn't really argue with you, but I guess I kind of feel like I think I see the core itself like that, the shimmery ball, is more of a force, I would say, like on the level of gravity.
For sure, yeah. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It has the ability to create life per the doppelgangers and such. But what I've taken away from it, watching this movie a couple times, is I kind of feel like it's a life-seeking force. It would find a planet that has life. It's attracted to life because that's how it will continue to grow and itself change and evolve and self-destruct and eat itself to make more. And I kind of think it's like it essentially becomes a tumor on the Earth, in my perspective. It's like cancer of the Earth itself.
I was thinking of it kind of as like trying to define fire almost. Like if you burn wood, like the byproduct of that process is fire, but without burning wood, there is no fire independent of
Fuel.
The chemical process of wood, of carbon being destroyed, right? Like the fire is just like what you see and feel when that's happening.
Just the energy being released.
Yeah. It's very hard, like ontologically, to describe fire without it solely being described in terms of the like antecedent things. So I don't know like what I'm looking at when I see the shimmer outside of just earth materials changing.
Yeah.
It's not clear to me that there's like anything else there, if that makes sense. There's just like, obviously there's an inciting object that hits Earth.
Yeah.
And is like facilitating these changes. And those changes would require energy.
They would, absolutely.
So like it could be like a technological object that has like a energy source, but I guess a seed also has energy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be technological. It could be an evolved thing.
But seeds have to be grown by something else.
Yeah.
It leaves you with so many more questions that I need like to know like the origins of the object.
I know. I'm gonna have to read those other two books.
Yeah, gotta read these books.
I love the way that Alex Garland took this and made it into one complete story around it. Like it is, it's not complete, but it is complete. It's obviously just a single movie, and he did a great job tying it together and leaving you with clearly all these lovely, thought-provoking questions.
Right.
But man, I gotta know the deets.
Right. As it stands on its own, this movie is kind of more of just like a meditation on death and change, which is deeply valuable and I love.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually like give you much in terms of understanding the like sci-fi elements of the story.
Yeah.
Right? The sci-fi story stuff is kind of a vehicle for the meaning.
Yeah.
For the symbolism, but like, where did this thing come from? What or who is it? What are its intentions? Like, what are these doppelgangers doing? Because there's this like sinister moment at the end of the movie where Lena, who has survived the shimmer, she allegedly like she burns her doppelganger, which then burns the lighthouse, which I think it's implied that it collapsed the entire shimmer.
Yeah.
And basically she, quote unquote, like saved the day.
Yeah.
But then she goes back and they're debriefing her and her husband is still there, Kane, but she's seen the video footage that Kane took of himself killing himself, and she knows that it's an alien doppelganger.
But she doesn't tell anyone that.
She doesn't tell anyone. She asks him, "Are you Kane?" And he says, "I don't think so." And he asks her, "Are you Lena?" And she does not answer.
Yeah.
And then the camera zooms in on her eyes, and they shimmer, and it cuts to black.
Yeah.
So, like, you have two mutated, quote-unquote, human beings
Yeah.
that are...
They're both very different, to say the least.
Yeah, they got there in very different ways. It's, again, going to be an ontological question whether they are human.
Yeah.
I'm partial to saying that they're not human. They just look human.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Well, I still think they have human genetics, you know, not fully.
Partially.
Yeah.
They've been like...
They're a humanoid.
Exactly. Yeah, they're a humanoid entity.
Yes.
But they also contain, presumably, the DNA material of like all the animals and plants that they sort of interacted with within the shimmer.
Yeah. God, I wonder what their kid would look like.
And I mean, they cut open one guy in the shimmer and his intestines were like snakes.
Dude,
It was like eels.
The first time I saw that, I was so disturbed.
Very uncomfortable viewing.
Yeah. And it's like through the fucking tripod, the fucking
They like
camcorder.
literally take a knife and cut open like a flap of his belly.
Yeah.
Pull it open like a window, and inside you just see like
moving.
It's like eels, like a bunch of gray purple eels.
Yeah, yeah. Without faces or anything, it just looks like their bodies just like moving
just
around,
wriggling.
It's like almost not even. You can't even really call him an eel because it's his intestines have mutated into that.
Yeah.
So it's his organs, it's his large intestine that is now apparently alive and moving inside of him.
That certainly, for me, has crossed the threshold of my categorical understanding of human being.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's not a human anymore.
Oh, yeah. That is a dirty monster. Kill it with fire.
Right. So I don't know what we're looking at when we see the Kane and Lena of the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it would be really cool if Alex Garland wanted to do a sequel.
I doubt he will.
He's not going to do it.
I doubt he will.
Because it's more evocative and thought-provoking to leave it as a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But that just makes me want to read the books.
We're just going to have to read all 3 books and do it on our bookcast.
Bookcast!
Oh, yeah, man.
Anything else in your notes?
Little fun fact. Speaking of the director, Alex Garland, he, to not dilute his own vision, only read the first book, which is fucking kind of crazy, out of the trilogy. And he specifically said he wanted it to be more like a dream of the story than the strict plot. Which I feel that, because I am confused in some ways.
I think he nailed the dreamlike, sort of ethereal vision of it.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know after I read the book if I think he nailed all like the thematic content. But.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I like, honestly, God, I wish we could talk about it on the pod. We'll talk about it some other day in the near, long away future. Let's get into real quick the technicalities of this filmmaking. Because
gorgeous.
Fuck me, dude. The color, so good.
Yes.
I don't understand what sort of computer magic, sci-fi bullshit they did.
Visual effects on like the color and lighting.
The shimmer itself.
It's pretty, when they're in the shimmer, basically like, I'm not experienced enough to actually do this, but I think I understand more or less like how they're doing it.
Sure.
It's anytime there's like highlights on the lights in a scene, those highlights are shifting their hue, and they're just revolving around the color palette. So from red to magenta and then back. So like anytime there's like a reflection on a puddle, it would normally be white.
Yeah.
And in this movie, the white highlights are always shifting like a snakeskin, like iridescence. And I do think that's just a matter of like creating a layer in your editor.
Yeah.
Applying it only to the highlights.
Yeah.
Masking things out so it's not getting all muddy and just like shifting the RGB.
Tell you what, they did a fantastic job.
So good.
Dude, that's why the first time I saw this in theaters, I was like, oh, I had to go back. Like, I literally went back 2 days later and watched it again because I was like, I need to see that again. I have to.
All of the practical sort of like set design stuff with like the mold and the animals.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of the animals is CGI visual effects, but the combination of the CGI visual effects and the set design like working together creates this like alien world.
Dude.
It's so nice.
Those deer, like the deer with the mimic deer right behind it. One of them is like more of a normal
and
deer.
One is like a copy.
Yeah, a copy, and it has like fucking flowers growing out of his branches and shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then like the plants that are growing into human shapes, like they look like human bodied trees with flowers growing on them. The man with the fungus, the bear.
Yeah.
Like just so much of this movie is
we didn't even really talk about the bear, but yeah, it's just the bear adopts a human voice to like get its predators. It's terrifying.
It's so weird. Well, it rips that woman's throat out.
Yeah. And then it assimilates it.
Yeah, like assimilates her vocal cords.
Yeah.
And it can like make her sounds.
Yeah. Help.
So weird.
Oh, God. Yeah, man. That is all fantastic shit. I like still to this day have a hard time even paying attention. Like, are these camera shots good? Because I'm just like, this is just so beautiful. So much to look at.
Yeah. It's a technically amazing film.
Yeah.
It's very psychedelic, hallucinogenic,
dreamlike. It's you're in a fugue state the whole time.
I think if it weren't for like the horror elements of like the animal attacks and like the weird body horror stuff, I would love to watch this movie on mushrooms.
Yeah, but that stuff would fuck with me.
It's too freaky to do that, I think.
Yeah.
But visually speaking, like this has all of the appeal of like a psychedelic experience.
Yeah. Maybe just like a light bit of mushrooms. Maybe it's like we split half an eighth. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
you just take them at the beginning of the movie so that by the time you're peeking, you're already past the bear.
Yeah.
If you can peek in a lighthouse, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, you're going to have a crazy couple of hours to think about.
Do you have any criticisms of this movie?
I didn't before reading the book. And I know, like we said, a little bit less, but it did influence the way I view the movie now. I just it without giving, I guess, my score away yet. It is a bit different. And it did take away from what I think the original story was going for and more the hard sci-fi aspects of the movie. But not too much by any means. And then I guess just the middle of the movie, it has a slight lull to it. Just drag just the tiniest bit. But I'm so enveloped in the gorgeousness of the world that it's building that I don't really care. That's like it.
I have two very small criticisms that don't amount to much. But, you know, I was searching for a possible criticism, and this would be the only thing sort of holding it from being a perfect 10 for me.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters are kind of like, they're kind of typical archetypes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're the biologist, and that's reflected in your personality in this way. Whoa. You're the psychologist and team leader. That's reflected in your personality in this way.
So another interesting point on that, in the books, they don't even have names. It just refers to them as their profession. This is the biologist. This is the team leader. This is the
maybe in a sense, because we've been talking a lot about object-oriented ontology, about human perceptions and constructs, the way you see the world. Maybe the original author was looking to explore the way that your your assumptions and preconceptions about life change the way that you interact with an
course.
unknown.
I mean, so much of your identity comes from who you decide you are as a person.
Right.
I'm the biologist, therefore I'm looking at it through the life side of things.
But just in terms of like, you know how in an action movie, like there's always like the team and like one guy is like the brawn and one guy's like the sassy guy and then one guy's the bomb expert and they all have to do like one thing at a key moment.
Yeah.
I hate that in movies.
Totally get it.
And this movie does do that a little bit. They have these like archetype format to their characters and like the way that they interact.
For sure.
And I just think it's a little bit cheap in writing the characters that way.
Yeah.
That said, the acting's really good and I think the script is really good and the movie doesn't really like suffer due to that the way that like an Arnold Schwarzenegger like Commando
or like a
movie
fucking heist movie. Or,
it's not like Italian Job. I'm the hacker. But it has traces of that energy in the way that the team's assembled.
I feel that.
The other small thing that I kind of pick up on when I'm watching this movie is that the story beats are a bit predictable.
They are.
So like they'll be by the water talking about something very like intellectual and I just know they're going to be attacked by the alligator.
Yeah.
Not because I've seen it before, but because it's like the scene is begging for you to be attacked by a monster in this moment.
Of course.
Every time that it like lulls down, I just like see the next thing coming.
Yeah.
The only exception to that in this movie is early on when the husband comes back.
Yeah.
You do not see that coming the first time.
Not at all. Yeah, you're very settled with, he's been dead for a year.
And then he walks through the door. You're like, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
In that regard, the story completely surprised me. But I do think that's really the only element of like the story structure that like caught me off guard. Everything else had like the typical pacing and all the story beats of like kind of a regular action adventure movie. And I'm just so familiar with that genre that like I just see the bear attack coming.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah,
you know, those small things for me
also just doesn't take away from it that much because they are executed very well.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's not ruining the movie for me at all. This is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's taking it from a 10 to like a 9.5.
100%.
Not even a whole point.
Nope.
It's just like,
nope. I am right there with you. This is a solid 9.5.
Nice.
For me. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot wait. Alex Garland is still a pretty young guy. I think he's in his like late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, I saw 50s.
Yeah. We got at least like 5 more from him, dude. I am ready for it. Yeah. This was a banger. I love this movie. I'm going to keep watching it like every other year for a long time.
Yeah, for real. All right. Well, I've said all that I think I need to say about Alex Garland's very brilliant Annihilation.
That's right. Yeah, me too.
Thank you guys for watching to the end.
Absolutely.
Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment. What do you think was the object that hit Earth? How do you conceptualize of it?
Yeah, please. How do you feel about this movie in general? Have you read the book? Do you compare them? Or is it a different story entirely?
What does the phosphorus mean?
Is it Lucifer?
What's the religious angle on this movie? Because I know there is one.
Yes, there probably really is, and I am not educated enough to know.
Just wait until The Matrix, bro.
Oh God, now that's a whole other thing.
Did you know? Okay, I did not know this growing up, and we are watching these as number 2 and 3 in this month. The writer of the Terminator franchise is the same writer of the Matrix franchise.
What?
They're both adapted from books that the same woman wrote. And that author claims that they are the same universe.
Bangers, dude.
Yeah.
I did. Okay. Well,
we will get into that with The Matrix.
Okay.
I don't think we should get into it with Terminator.
I'm going to have to.
Both.
Dude, I might read those, or at least listen to one of those.
She does interviews.
Before we watch that. Sick. Well, yeah. Thanks, boys and girls. And
love you all.
Peoples. Yeah. This has been Quiet
in the Back.
Shh.
When your man has disappeared and then he shows up in your kitchen. First you